everyone. This is your host, Brittany, and thank you for joining me on this week's episode of PCAT and Pre-Pharmacy Podcast, where we talk about everything pharmacy from the pre-pharmacy journey to life after pharmacy school. This week, our guest is a fourth-year pharmacy student from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. During the interview, we highlight the different routes you can take to get to pharmacy school and also the different curriculum types that pharmacy schools offer. But before we get started with the show, I want to remind you to check out crackpcat.com for all of your study materials. If you're a visual learner like I am, you will appreciate the video explanations and over 1,000 practice questions. Not only will you not be staring at a book for long hours, you can access your account from anywhere as long as it is a compatible device. So again, make sure to check out crackpcat.com. Now let's get started with the show. Hi, Chiazoka. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you please tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Chiazoka Onyegwara, and I'm a student pharmacist at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I'm in my final year currently, and I'm working on my rotations and stuff. I went to school in Maryland, in New York. My undergrad was in New York, and I applied to the University of Maryland in 2018. It's a 3-year school, and so far so good. It's going okay. And yeah,
May I ask,
I'm
what is your bachelor's in?
I didn't get a bachelor's. I actually did an associate degree in chemistry. I did it for 2 years. Is actually a pre-pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I did before applying for pharmacy school.
Okay, thanks. And I definitely like to highlight the different pathways that you are able to get and apply and accept it to pharmacy school. So thank you so much. What made you go that route instead of just like doing the 2 extra years or was it anything specific?
So, because I was born in Nigeria and literally I applied for school, like university. They call it university back in Nigeria, and I applied for pharmacy, but I didn't get pharmacy. So, having the opportunity to come to America, I'm like, okay, let me just pursue my dreams to become a pharmacy. And also, I applied to this to so many schools, but Bronx Community College is like actually a community college, and it's a 2-year college. So it's not somewhere you could get your bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke to my counselor then, and we walked through how to achieve all these goals before the second year is over. But I took more classes because you have to take 12 credits in a
Mm-hmm.
semester, but I took more than that. I took more than 15 credits while in school, so I could finish up everything in 2 years.
Okay, thank you for that. And so, what inspired you to be a pharmacist?
So growing up in Nigeria, my dad owned a drugstore, and most time I go to the drugstore with him and I see the way he interacts with patients, and I was curious to know more about pharmacy, and I wanted to like learn more about the medication aspect of it, and that was what actually motivated me, and the way he treated his patients, the way he knew the right answers to the right answers to the questions the patient had. That was like what made me want to go further in pharmacy and also to give back to the community where I'm from.
Okay, thank you for that. So, okay, you already let us know you did the 2-year program instead of doing the bachelor's. And I just want the audience to know that there's no right and wrong way, into getting into pharmacy. You could do the 2-year, you could do the 4-year, whatever your preference is or whatever goals you have for yourself, then that's right for you. There's nobody looks at it differently.
Yeah, because everyone has their own path. Like most people want to get a bachelor so that they could work, they could have something to be doing. Why go into pharmacy school? Because the loan in pharmacy school is crazy.
For
So that could be an option.
Very much so. So you said you're in your final year. So do you have any plans for after graduation yet?
So far, you can't say, okay, this is the route I'm gonna go, or this is not the route I'm gonna go, because after pharmacy school, a lot of things get thrown at you. You don't know where you're gonna end up, so you have to keep your mind open. So right now, I don't really. I'm looking towards industry, but I'm also looking at residency. But if I could get a job without these two, I would also go for that. Retail is another aspect of it. I've had my experience with CVS, and it's tedious to be sincere. And the job market in the CVS aspect, Walgreens, the community aspect of pharmacy is actually saturated, and the price is going lower and lower. But I know that there are some other community pharmacy that are actually paying well. So I'm also looking into that. So I'm just keeping my options open, because when you go to one direction, you might miss out on the other side. So I'm just open to whatever comes after graduation.
Definitely. I'm like that as well. And thank you for explaining all of that because I just want the audience, this is really good. It's geared to everybody that's interested in pharmacy, but I know a lot of
Mm,
pre-pharmacy students listen, and I want them to know that it's more to pharmacy than just Walgreens or CVS. Like, it's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that, but it's very broad.
hmm
May I ask, what part of industry are you interested in?
So far, I did a rotation at FDA,
Okay.
and I was so impressed with what I came across, and I was looking at regulatory. Is it regulatory? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, like I saw the way that they worked with other aspect of pharmaceutical sciences, like the not just pharmacists, but other aspect of pharmacy that don't have a pharmacy degree, but
Mhm.
they have like a pharmaceutical science degree, but they work together to achieve one certain goal. And also, I'm looking at I've forgotten the name. Sorry,
Oh, no,
my
no
bad.
problem.
Yeah, because they call it med rec.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. I'm also looking into that because industry is broad. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot to do in industry. You could do information analysis. You could do anything you want to do in industry, and industry is like where the drug everything happens, the manufacturing, the vaccines. So you want to be like the upfront person right there. So that's what I'm interested in, really.
Oh, thank you. I just asked because I interviewed a pharmacy student last week, and they were also interested in regular in industry as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so for any underclassmen or let's say, yeah, any underclassmen, P1, 2, or 3, or any pre-pharmacy students, do you have any advice that, say, if somebody would have told you that while you were going through it, then that would have definitely helped you?
Yes. Okay. So during my undergraduate days, I know that I did very well in chemistry, but going further to organic chemistry and biochemistry, it was pretty hard, and I just went through it just to pass it. I wish I paid more. I gave it time and learn about like many things that could go through, like in terms of structure wise and medication wise. I wish I paid more attention to that, because coming into pharmacy school, you're going to be talking about pharmacology, like the pharmacology, the structures and everything about the medications. And if you don't remember the structures, it's going to throw you off. It's just like you're learning it again for the first time. But if I had paid more attention during my undergraduate days, it would have been a piece of cake while in pharmacy school. That's one thing. And also, like studying wise, do not think the way you studied in undergrad is going to be the same for graduate, because it's a different kind of studying. Because I went to a 3 year school and it was back to back. Like the only day I don't study is Sunday. Like we take our exams every 2 weeks. So the Friday we take the exam, Saturday is just like just to relax and just and just think things through, and then Sunday I'm back at it again. Like it's just like a roller coaster for 2 years. So like the way you study, it might change, it might be different. Like just be open minded to whatever you're gonna experience in pharmacy school. Don't think, oh, I was a 4.0 student, you're gonna be the same, because you have a lot of 4.0 students competing in pharmacy school. So yeah,
Mhm.
just keep an open mind.
Okay. Okay, so you're in a 3-year program. Do they consider that an accelerated program, right?
Yes, yes, it's
Okay.
accelerated.
So how is like is it like semesters or trimesters? Like how is it set up?
So our school is not trimester, it's a semester based program.
Mhm.
But the only thing is that our summer is cut short. Most people start school like ending of September or maybe ending of August. We start middle of July,
Okay.
and it goes through like so, but it's a semester wise, but we have a lot to do. Like our second year was the toughest because we had to combine like in a 4 year school, we have like the second and third year combined for our school for second year.
Oh.
So it's like a lot. I can't even start to explain. But the good thing about my school is that in first year they incorporated a lot of stuff that when I went for APHA, like the media, when I was interacting with other pharmacy students, other first years that were in first year, I did a lot that they've not even covered yet. I guess they're gonna do in their second year, but I already went through that, and we got our certification to immunize patients in our first year. So it's kind of different, like comparing to other schools, other 4 year colleges, it's kind of different.
So did you take classes like did you change classes during the semester like every 8 weeks or something like that? Or how did the class
So what we did was every 2 weeks we change to the next subject. So we start on Monday with a new topic, and then they lecture us for up till Thursday, and then we take the exam on Friday.
Oh,
Then on Monday the next week we start a different topic.
okay.
So once you're done with that topic, you're done with it for that block, and then the next block you start another one.
Oh,
But if you don't pass, like that block exam, you have to take it on Monday, and that Monday is when the next class is starting. So you just want to study and pass it so that you don't have to carry over to the next week, because it's gonna affect you. It's gonna affect like your planning and everything. So it's just time and like do what works for you. Most people work while in school, most people don't. So it depends on what works for you in general.
okay. Now, did you work as a intern while in school?
Well, I did in my first year, first semester, but I couldn't go further. I had to stop at the second year because I couldn't hold it anymore. When you have brain dead,
Yeah.
like I felt like I was in class and I was still in the pharmacy. Like I was
Yeah.
trying to like juggle things together. But if you could do it because it's gonna help you in terms of memorizing your top 200 drugs because you see it every day at the pharmacy.
Mhm.
I wish like the pharmacy I was working at that point was actually working with me. They weren't too demanding for me to come into work. I wish they could have worked with me to work like once every 2 weeks. I would have done that, but they grew impatient on me and the system kicked me out, so I couldn't apply anymore. When I applied, they asked me to apply as an intern because I was already going further to second year.
Mhm.
So that was how I just lost that job. But altogether, if you could do it, do it. But if you can't, just just study and pass your exams, because at the end of the day, you want to get this degree. You don't want to keep repeating every year, and the loans are crazy. You don't want to keep coming back for the same pharmacy program.
Definitely. I ask because I'm contemplating do I want to get an intern position, but at the same time, I know what it feels like to be in class Monday through Friday and then working on the weekend. Like it's no
No,
there's
no.
no break. Okay. Well, those were all of the questions that I have for you. Do you have anything that you would like to leave our audience with?
What I could say is just be yourself. Do not let what people say discourage you, because if I had listened to what people told me before I got to pharmacy school, I might not have gotten where I was. Even where I worked at CVS, some of the pharmacists were discouraging me from going to pharmacy school. But once your mind is set up and you know your end goal, do not listen to whatever anybody is saying. Because right now, all those people saying all those words, they're now saying, oh, you made it, you did this. So if I had listened to them, I would have been regretting my life right now. So just focus on your dreams, your goals, and trust me, you will get to the finish point without knowing.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I've had a lot of pharmacists say that to me as well, and I'm just like, but you're a pharmacist saying that. Like, I'm not a, I'm not a and I appreciate you like giving me your warning or whatever, but my mind's made up, so that's when I can't go back and change. And they were definitely saying that after like I've applied and I was waiting to hear. I'm like, there's no going back, so we're just gonna work through it.
If you think about the end goal and what you want to achieve and the money too, and let's say your goal is to help people, just thinking about that, just thinking about walking through that stage with your doctorate degree, oh, that's gonna change your own aspect. You're gonna push everything you heard from people and just focus and get it right.
Yeah, definitely. What?
And one more thing I'm gonna leave with people too, like some study tips. I'm sorry, I'm just putting it at the last.
Oh
Uh,
no, it's fine.
yeah, some study tips like know what works for you. Cause me, I didn't realize this till the end. I I like when you study in group,
Hmm.
like some things you don't remember, your colleague might remember it.
Hmm.
You might think like when you study on your own, you could remember every single thing. There are people that are that smart; they could remember every single thing. But I'm not like that. But when I study in a group, someone brings up some not studying in a group of 20, maybe five, four. Like when you study with them, like they could bring up something and then it sticks better when you hear someone say it
Hmm.
than when you skip through your book and like you think you remember it, but when you talk about it, it sticks better. So whatever you think that could work for you, look for that person that you think, okay, you guys could merge together and then study it. Pharmacy school is not something you could do alone. Trust me. There are down times that you'll be like, oh God, what is this? I had that moment. Like you will need that shoulder to go on to and cry or like cry together and study together and do everything together. I had that click and we're still together till today. So yeah, that's like an advice I could give to people coming into pharmacy school.
Okay, thank you. I would like to thank our guest again for joining me on this week's episode. I will leave all of her contact information in the description box, so please make sure to check that out. Also, if you have any topics you want me to speak about or if you want to be a guest on the show, email me at podcast@crackpcat.com and we'll set everything up. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check us out on YouTube, where the podcast will also have a visual aspect as well. And I'll talk to you guys next week.